Well, good afternoon. We're here this afternoon with Paul Voltmer and Henry. What's your last name, Henry?
Koldyke.
And glad to have you guys here. We're talking leader development in the local church. Why don't you guys first introduce yourselves, tell a little bit about your role at the church, and then we'll dive into the discussion.
Sure. Paul Voltmer, the pastor at Trinity Evangelical Free Church in Windsor, Vermont. I've been there about 2.5 years now in the lead pastor role. Yeah.
I'm Henry Koldyke, and I'm an elder, first-year elder in the church, just chosen last year, and I forgot what I'm going to say here. Okay, and I work with Paul and the other elders. And
You've been at the church for how long?
well, I've been at the church since 1973.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm the newbie.
Yeah.
He's been around. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Well, I'd love to hear a little bit more about how God's had you developing leaders, not just for ministry within the local church, but really for ministry in the surrounding community from the local church.
Since pretty much when I got to Trinity early on, the Lord just opened up opportunities for us to really make a connection between faith, work, and economics. Very much an emphasis here in NIDA. And so early on, I brought the idea to the elders of really kind of making more of a concerted effort, being more intentional about seeing the church as a whole, but also our leaders. Understand that what they do on Sunday impacts all of their life, or what they do for the Lord. There is, as I said, right. There's no square inch in the entire universe where Jesus Christ is not declared mine. So I want them to see that in their workplace as well. And we went through a process of reading as elders, Tim Keller's Every Good Endeavor, Tom Nelson's Work Matters, and then I had my next level of leadership in the church read those two books as well. And I had the elders lead those discussions, which was great because we talked about it and then they could lead the discussions. And then we did something really, I think, really unique. We then developed a survey where just asking 10 questions. And one of the questions was, what's your email address? So it was really only 9 questions. Just about faith and work, how you view your work. I can't remember all the questions, but really just trying to get folks in the church thinking outside of the 4 walls of the church, outside of the walls of ministry of the church, and get them thinking about how God intersects with what they do. Everybody who filled out one of those surveys was then invited to a meal, a small, about 8 people at the meal, and the meals were hosted by one of our ministry leaders and one of our elders. So I was kind of doing leadership development right there. And then we got people around at table talking about their work, and it was beautiful. We're a church of about 110 on a Sunday morning, but people still don't know each other. So they're sitting at table with one another, getting to know one another's names, and then finding out, oh, you're a nurse too, and or you're a teacher, and shared vocations, shared experiences, shared obstacles, whatever it may be, and it just got them thinking more and more. And then I built on that. I did a sermon series on God at Work, and I've committed to trying to visit people in their workplaces. So just it's all different steps that we have taken to try to help folks see God at work. That's the phrase that we use, God at work.
That's great. What are some of the ways, after the initial kind of unpacking of that idea and vision with the elders, and then the subsequent leadership group, what have you done to help continue to develop leaders and keep that vision fresh before people?
Yeah. One of my favorite things is every 3rd Sunday of the month, we have a God at Work interview. And for the first year that we did it, I would interview somebody, and then slow learner that I am, I was away one Sunday and I didn't want to cancel it, so I asked one of my elders to do the interview, and I realized, Paul, get out of the way. Let Jacob do it. And he loves it. So now this is his thing. He interviews somebody in the church, 3 questions, 3 basic questions. What do you do? How do you see God at work? And how do you glorify God at work? And that second question, how do you see God at work? I always challenge folks, even if there was no Christian in your workplace, not even you, how would God still be at work there? What is it about your job that reflects his character? What is it about what goes on there that just reflects his common grace in the world? And we've done it pretty much every month. For about a year and a bit.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite response of someone that shared their story during that time?
One of my favorites was a recent one, and we had a couple in the church, John and Beth Haynes. They're farmers. They're dairy farmers, organic dairy farmers, just over the border in New Hampshire. And John's the humble guy, and he just gets up there and he says, "Well, I'm a dairy farmer, and I guess you could say I'm a keeper of grass, and I harvest it with cows." And I love that because he gets there's so many layers to that. He gets stewardship. It's not just about I produce milk. It's not even I keep cows. It goes all the way back to the grass, God's good gift to us of creation, and he's a keeper of the grass. And he harvests it with cows, and so there's just that, just a fullness, and then, all that God is present there, and it's just wonderful. Yeah,
that's a really cool story.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I love how leaders are being developed, not only for ministries within the walls of the church, but seeing their work as avenues of ministry.
Yeah.
That's excellent. That's Christ's heart.
Yeah. One other quick story. Visiting folks in their workplaces is it's not something I do as much as I want to, but when I do it, I am blessed, and it's just so neat to see people see their workplace in a fresh way. Because I come in and I see things that they don't. One guy, I've told this story before, but one guy I visited, I was walking through this large kind of cubicle area, and I saw in one of the cubicles on a whiteboard, God first, family second, job third. And I said to him, "Who? That's a believer. Who's that?" And he said, "Oh yeah, that's Joe or whatever." And he goes to another local church, and I'd never seen that, and that's cool. And so it helped him see something in his workplace of another believer setting God-honoring priorities right there on his whiteboard in his workplace. So, similar, just seeing people take pride in their work is just another. They get to show off what they do to the pastor. It's just a fun opportunity for me. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, Henry, Paul, thanks so much for being here, and appreciate hearing from you guys.
Great. Thanks, Sam.